This is Sara with Posh Pooch Designs, and this is our live video chat. And in case you didn't know, we try to have our live video chat on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time because I'm here in Colorado, just south of Denver. We have a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to be discussing how to crochet with a graph, and then I have some new things to show you and some yarns and a fun clearance sale that I located I'm going to tell you about. So the first thing we need to do is clink in, and I've got my whimsical polka dot cup today. Isn't it fun? I actually have two of these, and I got them because we were at an elephant exchange a couple years ago at Christmas, and I got these two cups with a big thing of coffee, and so it was like date night coffee or something. I can't remember the name of it. Good morning, Linda. Clink. Anyway, these two polka dot cups, and it had a little like Paris Eiffel Tower thing, and then a couple of different kinds of Italian coffee. A lot of fun. Of course, that coffee is long gone. It was delicious. Good morning, Stacy. Clink. Well, I have to tell you, I've got my hair up because we haven't had our air conditioner on. We live pretty high in altitude, and we don't have to turn it on every day. And a lot of times I turn it on just in the afternoon. Well, I think it was Saturday. Good morning, Dana. Glad you're here. Clink. Well, Saturday afternoon, it was 94, and it got really hot. So we closed up the house, and we turned the air conditioner on, and nothing happened. So we got an air conditioner guy or girl or whoever coming this afternoon, take a look at it, make sure it's working okay. It was blowing, it's just the air was cold. So anyway, it's a little bit warm this morning. Now, it's a beautiful day. It's about 72 degrees. But my yarn studio is up on the second floor of the house, and so it's really hot. Good morning, Rosie. Love your name. That's my Poochie's name. Good morning, Tammy. Glad you're here. Something I wanted to share with you, and you can let me know what you think. On my YouTube channel, we're at about 8,400 or something. And when we reach 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to do some fun giveaways. And I want to give away some gift cards. And so I want to know what you would rather have. Now, we don't have an AC Moore here in Colorado, so I'm not going to be able to get that one. But what I would like to know is you can just put it in the comments. Would you personally prefer a gift card from Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or Walmart? Those are the three that I'm going to pick up, are choices. And I'm going to have several different price points. Some may be only $25, but I am going to have a $100 gift card. But remember, you have to tell your friends about our YouTube channel, and when our YouTube channel reaches 10,000 subscribers, we're going to have a celebration. All right, so I'm so glad that you're all here. And let's just go ahead and get started with our questions. I'll be honest with you, I, of all yarn places, prefer Hobby Lobby. That is my favorite. And I love the Hobby Lobby yarns. But when I'm looking for Red Heart yarns, I'll go to Michael's because they have more Red Heart yarns at Michael's. So I might get both, and then you can pick if you're the winner. That might be fun to get 2 or 3 from both places. So just let me know, post it in the comments, and I'll take a look at those and make a note of it for when we have our party. All right, let's get started with some of our questions. One of the questions I got this week was, in all the negativity in YouTube, why do you do what you do? Well, the reason that I do is, number one, I don't care about the negativity. There's a lot of people that just like to, I don't know, they call them trolls, just like to put negative stuff, you know, and stuff like that. I don't care about that stuff. And if people give me a thumbs down, I don't care. Because I'm just having fun. And the reason that I do what I do, putting out free patterns and making a few fun videos, the reason that I do is because I remember many years ago, when I was first learning about crochet, I had so many questions, and I didn't have anyone to ask. So I spent a lot of time at the library trying to find those answers. And so basically, good morning, Sharon. I didn't see you pop in. Clink. So anyway, the reason that I do what I do, number one, I love what I do. Number two, I love crochet and yarn. And number three, I don't want you to feel frustrated like I did. That's why I tell you, even if you think a question is super silly, ask it anyway. I'll do everything in my power to answer that question. And if I don't know the answer, I will try to find you an answer. So, and that's kind of why I do what I do. I love it. I love crochet, and I don't want people to be frustrated like I was, because there are a lot of questions and a lot of things that, I've been doing this for so many years that I probably take for granted and have forgotten. And so I remember one time someone sent me a message and said, this might be a silly question, but your pattern's in yellow, can I do it in blue? And I'm like, of course, use your creativity. And then I thought, oh, I hope I didn't sound too brass, because that was an honest to goodness question, and it was important to her. And so I want you to feel that your questions are important, and you can ask me anything. Well, about crochet and yarn. Let's keep it clean. All right, so let's get into the next question, and that is, how do I crochet a graph? So I've got some graphs here. Is that one backwards? I printed off two. Here we go. I want to make sure it's the right direction. And this is a graph that I did I'm going to say 2 or 3 years ago. I have a simple little way to do it on my Excel spreadsheets that I can graph it out with colored blocks. And I really like it. Hi, Linda. Clink. Okay, so, but you can use something I discovered if you like those I think they're called perler beads, or any type of graph that you can find, it can be crocheted. And one of the ones that we did yesterday, good morning, Trish, clinking. I'm so glad you guys clink in. It's so much fun. Anyway, this is one that I did a few years ago for Father's Day, and I did a video on it yesterday explaining how a graph works. And basically, there are 3 or 4 or even more different types of ways to crochet a graph. I'm going to set this one down. We'll talk about it in just a second. One way that you can crochet a graph is just to basically crochet single crochets back and forth. And we did this yesterday, and here's the one that I did yesterday. It's just a tie for Father's Day. And let me show you these other ones. These are all crocheted just by simply single crocheting in straight lines. There's the paw, and there's a dog bone. These are all free on my blog. And if you're looking for it, just go www.poshpoochdesigns.com, and my webpage will pop up, and then you can just click on the blog or click on YouTube or whichever ones. And these are all graphs that I made with my own program, not my own program, but with my computer. And they're out there for you to use. And another way that you can do a graph is with the C2C. And then this one's also out there. But I wanted to show you. There's the paw. Oh, it's upside down. There's the paw print. There's the heart. And let me flip this over. There's the dog bone. And this C2C blanket is used off the same graph as these. It's just a different technique. And when you're doing the corner to corner, or C2C, you're stitching from the corners and working across. Okay? Another way to do a graph, and I don't have a picture of this because I've never done it, but Repeat Crafter Me has a cupcake where she has made granny squares, and I believe they're just 2-row granny squares, and she's made a granny square for each one of these little squares, and then she stitched them all together. And so you can do that with a graph as well. And there are other techniques and other ways that you can do them. When you're reading a graph for single crocheting rows, you're going to chain across. This one is 15 rows across, and then you can see it's 15 rows tall. So you've got 15 stitches by 15 rows, And this one makes about almost a 5-inch. It's like right under, teeny bit under 5 inches. So add an extra row of single crochet around your trim. You can have it exactly 5-inch, or use a bigger hook. And this is a really fun technique to learn if you've never done any kind of graph crochet. Doing it like, where'd that little, I'm here. Doing it like this is really a fun way to learn. Because when you're single crocheting across your rows, you chain one more, so you're going to chain 16. Then you're going to begin in the second chain from the hook, because remember that first chain 1 really counts as a turning chain. And so you're going to place one single crochet for each one of the blocks. You'll chain 1 and you'll turn, and then you'll go back the other way. And then when you come back this way, you'll change colors right here. Now in that video, I showed you how to change colors and how to work this graph. And I posted it yesterday, and you can find that on my YouTube channel also. And if you want, I can put the link down in the comments when we're done with our video, just so that you can understand. It's really easy, and it's also really fun. Okay, and now let's go back to the C2C. It's called C2C because it means corner to corner. And the reason is, when you're stitching a C2C, you're going to start with one block, and you're going to go 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and you're stitching this way. And then when you get here is when you change your colors. Okay, and this one with this graph can be done exactly the same. You'll start with your 1 square, 2, 3, and you'll work your graph this way, back and forth. And I did a video on this one, and I show you how to change your colors. This is just called the Pixel Graph Blanket, I believe, and it shows you how to change your colors. The main thing to remember in both of those styles is when you're changing colors, make sure you have your front side as your front side, and you always pull your strings to the back. Stacy says, I'm working on that now, but keep getting distracted. Starting out, you know what? I have probably, I don't know, maybe 100 different projects started. And to me, that tells me that that's a creative person. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so those are ways to do the graph. Now, also, like I said, when you're doing the little single or double row granny squares, one granny square will represent each one of those. So you're going to get a much bigger piece. And when you do the C2C, you're going to get a much bigger piece as well. And taking a graph like this, or any of these that are real simple, you know, like in the dog bone, you know, and the paw and the heart, these are really simple, and it's a good way to practice, but you can come up with lots of different ways to work them. Okay, and that's really basically, in a nutshell, how to work a graph. One of the main things to learn and practice is changing colors, and making sure when you do change colors, you bring your strings to the back. And also, I mean, if you look at the back, I've carried over my thread, and you can do that most of the time unless you're worried about it showing through. Because like, here's the dog bone, here's the back of the dog bone. It's not as neat, but it looks not too bad. And these are just coasters made out of cotton. So it really is a fun technique to learn and practice. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and get out the one with the tie. I mean, it's not real sharp, but you can tell it's a men's neck tie. And that one we did solid, and this one we did in stripes. Now, another thing to know is that if you're afraid that your colors are going to show through, you can go across and not stitch over it, and that will keep that white from popping through. It's just a technique, whether you want to or not. It's kind of up to you. Okay, so basically those are the 3 ways to work a graph. Now I know there are other ways as well, but these are the 3 most popular. Single crocheting across your rows, using a C2C or corner to corner, and then doing I call them little baby granny squares. And they're a lot of fun. And the little baby granny square technique is really time consuming. But it's also a neat way to just, if you've got something like if you're traveling or something and you just want to work up a bunch of little granny squares and throw them in a bag, that's a good travel project to take with you. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you about graphs is what we call filet crochet. And the graphs are a little bit different, and I don't have one because I've not written one. I didn't want to show somebody else's work. And so, but one thing that I have done is my Whispering Pines scarf. And this is a similar way that a, throw that over my shoulder, that a filet crochet is done. And it's done basically by skipping and chaining stitches. And this one, I called it Whispering Pines because the trees are going both ways. This one is going this way, and then it's also upside down. And it kind of represents the way a filet crochet is done. And the way the patterns work in filet crochet, it has to do with stitches and chaining and skipping those stitches. And that's something I want to do a little more in depth for another conversation, so that I can work one up and have one ready so that you can see it. It's a little more time consuming. It's not a mindless project. You're going to have to kind of pay attention a little bit. But they make beautiful work. And if you've ever seen where people have had their name crocheted across, and it's like in a frame and it looks really beautiful. And I love it when they do it with like an off-white thread and has an antique look to it. That's filet crochet. And or you Google some and look at them. They're just wonderful. And so I want to come up with one that's a lot of fun and see what I can do. Maybe a dog paw or dog bone somehow. I got some, you know me, I got some ideas in my mind. And so that's something that we're going to do down the road. Okay? And that's another way of working from a graph. So I just wanted to discuss that a little bit. And so that's pretty much, like I said, in a nutshell, about working with graphs. They're a lot of fun. I will tell you, oh, thank you, Linda. That is also a free pattern on my blog and on YouTube. But I will tell you, I have so many projects and so many things that I want to crochet and design that this room just cannot contain all the imagination and all the things I got going on in my head. All right, so let's talk about, if you have any more questions about graph patterns, go ahead and message me. And a great way to contact me is through my webpage, www.poshpoochdesigns.com. And I think it's on the top right, it says Contact Posh Pooch Designs. You just click it and it goes right to my email. That's the best way to contact me with a question. All right, so let's talk about some new things going on at Posh Pooch Designs. Let me get my notes out of the way. And again, I want to show you this. This is the original pattern. You can make it into a coaster, or you can make it into a coffee mug cozy just by adding this tab across the back. And of course, I made this one in pink and blue because my son loves to wear a pink tie for Father's Day. He loves to wear pink. I don't know if it's his favorite color, but he loves to wear pink and blue together. And this is a great way to make a nice little set. You can make the coaster, and then you can make the, and that's upside down, the coffee cozy, and find a nice new coffee cup. This also fits a can of soda or beer, so just by moving that button, you can make it shorter or, thinner or round if you want to. Whatever your dad or uncle or brother or husband or son's favorite drink is, and you can give it to him. And when I originally did this pattern, a lot of men aren't wearing ties anymore, and I thought, oh, well, the tie is the traditional Father's Day gift, So anyway, we did that video yesterday. We updated the pattern, and so that's all ready to go. The other thing that we did this last week is the Briar Rose shawl. Now, the original shawl, oops, I dropped it. The original shawl is this one, and it's really, really fun. It's a basic kind of granny square shawl with a little extra row of ruffles in there, done by chains. It's got a nice big shell stitch edge, and This original pattern was written, I think, a couple years ago. I can't remember. But when I got in the new Red Heart yarn, I thought this would be the perfect yarn for this project. And so I did it again because I freeze when I go places, and I like to keep a shawl or a wrap that's small enough to fit in my purse, but big enough to get my shoulders and my arms warm. Because I'm always cold, restaurants and church and different places. And so here it is with the new ombre red heart yarn. Isn't that gorgeous? And the neat thing about this pattern is that if you want it to go longer, just keep making your rows until it's the length that you want. So that's a free pattern on my blog. It's also a video we did, I think Thursday or Friday of last week. I was wanting to get it done, and it's also a photo tutorial on the blog. So let's see. I think I had one more thing. I showed you that. Okay. I thought I had one more pattern. Oh, I know what it is. I have made a travel pillow. And I did that one, oh my goodness, 3 or 4 years ago. And so I can't find it. And I'm wanting to make a new one for a trip. And so I thought, well, what a better idea than to make one and make a video of it. And so that's a video. Hopefully I'll get that out tomorrow. And it's really super easy. You just use whatever worsted weight yarn you've got on hand. You will need a button because it has a little pocket to put your earbuds in, which is neat to have. And so that's going to come out tomorrow. But I don't have a picture, and I don't have it because I can't find it. I think I left it at my daughter's house when I went down there a few years ago, and it's probably long gone. You are going to need a little stuffing for that one. All right, that's what the other thing was. Okay, so I want to show you some yarns. I have been looking for this yarn. Let me grab my glasses so I can tell you the name of it. I want to get it right. This yarn is called Painted Canyon. And this is like a southwestern look yarn. And I've been looking for this yarn, and it's been it's a Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. There we go. I love this yarn, worsted weight, number 4. And I have a project that I want to do with these, and I could not find it. And so every couple of weeks I stop in there and see what's new and everything. That's when I discovered the new cakes that they have at Hobby Lobby, which are gorgeous. I showed you those a few videos ago. Anyway, so they had this in stock, so I grabbed 2 of them. And I was walking away, and I thought, wait, that was a clearance tag. And so I got to looking, and Hobby Lobby, did I say Walmart? I meant Hobby Lobby. They have a whole bunch of their yarn on clearance. And so I asked the lady, and she said, yeah, we got some new colors coming out of ours, and we're discontinuing some other ones. And so they've got a bunch of their yarn on clearance. And I got this one. I'm going to pop my glasses back on so I can read the name of it, because I just love this one. This one is called Sea Blue Tweed. Isn't that beautiful? It's got like a tweed in it. And this one I think was $2.29, and it's usually $3.66. And a whole bunch of their shades of their I Love This yarn are on clearance because they're coming out with some new colors. The other thing I got was this, and this is, let me look on, I left the tag on this one. $1.97 for I Love This cotton, and it's a sparkle. And I thought, oh, Christmas! So I've got some ideas for some snowflakes for Christmas for this, or something else. My hair out of my eyes. There we go. And I was going to look at see if it had the color on here. I forgot. Yeah, it's just Ivory Sparkle. $1.97. So go to your nearest Hobby Lobby. They've got I also noticed that a bunch of their Red Heart yarn on clearance. Mine has 2 rows like this, 2 rows like this, and then a third 1/2 row. And it is, my Hobby Lobby is huge. It has lots of yarn, and a bunch of it is on clearance. And the way Hobby Lobby does it is they'll put everything on clearance, and it's still in the rows. And so you got to kind of look for the tags, look for the yellow tags. Then after a while, when the new yarn starts coming in and they do the reset, all the old yarn gets stuck in the center in these great big baskets. And so I just thought I'd let you know that my Hobby Lobby is doing a reset, so I'm pretty sure most of the other ones are too. And who doesn't like clearance yarn? I do. All right, so really that's all I've got for you today. I hope that you'll practice and go and get some, even if you don't use my graphs, go find some fun graphs and just start practicing. It really, really is a lot of fun to make things with graphs with crochet. You can also knit these, by the way. You can knit graphs as well, and I have actually, I think, a dog bandana that I did a knit graph with a heart on it. So, but yeah, you can, and practice it. And if you've got a bunch of old yarn laying around, just practice some of these graphs and make some coasters or something. You can say, I made that. So anyway, that is our live video chat today. And I'm so thankful that you all stopped in to visit with me, to clink in. And don't forget, where do you want your gift cards to come from? And let your friends know to go check out my YouTube channel, because we're waiting till we get to 10,000 subscribers. And then we're going to party. All right, everybody. I'll see you next Tuesday.